Okay, G. So back with another one. Just like that, we back with another one, baby. Today, we're gonna be ranking South African hip hop artists. We're gonna be placing them in a tier list, guys. I'm excited for this one because I'm a hip hop head and I'm a big fan of South African hip hop in general. So stay tuned, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Leave a comment if you like the video or tell me where I can improve on my videos. I'd really appreciate that. So yeah, let's get to it, guys. So firstly, I want to discuss the criteria of my tier list, right? So the criteria goes as, first thing is catalog. You gotta have a catalog to stand on as a rapper, right? So your catalog gotta be a solid one, right? Another criteria is influence. So of course you gotta be influential. You gotta be an influential artist. You know, you gotta be able to like point out the influence that you had in the game. Okay, so the third one would be consistency, right? Like based on when you got into the game, you gotta see how consistent you've been throughout your career and how your career has either dipped or launched. So yeah, consistency is also part of the criteria. The next quality on our criteria is musicality, right? You gotta be able to produce good music. You can't just be a rapper, repeat raps. You gotta be able to make a hit, right? So yeah, that's also part of my criteria list, your musical ability, musicality. And another criteria on my list is your lyricism. I mean, this is hip hop, this is rappers, bro. So your lyricism, your pen needs to be sharp. So yeah, that's another criteria on my list. The last criteria on my list is completeness, right? You gotta be a complete artist. Like, gotta be a complete artist. Brandable, right? You gotta be brandable, be approachable by like brands and stuff. So that's what I mean by completeness. Your brand needs to be professional rapper's brand, right? So yeah, that's my criteria list on my tier list, right? So let's get started, yeah? Okay, so my tier list goes like this, guys. We have the S tier, which is perfect, right? So if you're in that tier, then it means you check out all these criterias on my list. And then we have amazing, right? Which is A, which is also a good rank because I mean, you're amazing, right? You check out most of the ticks on my criteria list. And then the next one is great. With great, you check some of the criteria qualities on my list. And then we have good, which is just below great, and that's when you check a couple of my qualities in my criteria list. And then we have mid, right? Now for this tier list, the mid doesn't mean that you're a mid artist. It just means maybe based on where you are in your career. Maybe you just started. So I can't just say that you're great and you just started last year, right? So yeah, there are artists that have been doing it and still in the mid category. So we'll discuss that when we get there. And then we have bad, right? For these are just artists that don't tick anything on my criteria list, and I feel like they just bad artists, right? So yeah, and please remember, guys, this is only just my opinion. This ranking is based on what I've heard from these artists, so please don't get offended or catch any offense on what I say, whether I place your artist in a bad ranking or this is just my opinion, guys, right? So let's get started, yeah? Okay, so the first rapper on my list is 25K, right? Now 25K came into the game, well, I was introduced to 25K by the song Culture Vulture. You know, Culture Vulture. That was like a hood classic, right? They ran the streets for a bit. And yeah, I mean, he had a good upcoming 25K, dropped Culture Vulture. It had motion, like had cosigns from the likes of AKAs and the likes of MTs, you know. And also then after that, he followed up with a beautiful album, Pheli Makaveli, which is one of the greatest debut albums in South Africa, in my opinion. And yeah, he's a great artist, which is why I'm putting him in the great category. I feel like he still has a lot to prove as an artist. I mean, he only has 2 albums out, which is Pheli Makaveli and the recent drop. So yeah, I think putting him in the great category fits. Okay, so for our next artist, we have Anatii. Now, Anatii is an artist that it's not really a rapper. I wouldn't say Anatii is really a rapper. But I mean, he's in the hip hop scene and he's been in the hip hop scene for a while now, like I think for plus a decade. And he's not really been consistent with like dropping hip hop albums or like giving his fans hip hop music. But throughout his career, I would say he's given us some good music. So, which is why I'm gonna place him in the great category as well. In my tier list, so he'll be going in the great category as well. Just because, man, he's been killing it from way back and he's still in the game, even though he's not as active. So yeah, Anatii goes in the great category. Okay, so for our next artist, guys, we have Baby Days. Now, Baby Days is a fairly new artist in the hip hop game. I think I got introduced to Baby Days by King Omar. I used to watch King Omar videos back in the day, and that's how I got introduced to him. And then I tapped in on like his first song that I heard was Easy by Day, which was kind of odd song. I mean, I felt like it was like it felt like a parody song to be honest, but yeah, it kind of banged. So yeah, Baby Days, and then he's been moving, guys. He's been moving. Like I've been seeing him around. He dropped a project last year, 2024, and it did good. So yeah, Baby Days, man, he's having a crazy run, which is why I'm gonna put him, even though he just started his Feeling Me, I'm gonna put him in the good category. I think he deserves to be in the good category. For our next artist, guys, we got Black Les. Black Les has been in the game also for a long time. I remember one of his first songs that I heard was Free Your Fame, which I think is his biggest song. I'd like to say his biggest rap song out there. And yeah, that was like way back then because it had Pro Kid on the song. So that was one of the first songs I heard from Black Les and I was impressed. And back then I used to like bump some of Black Les's songs, but honestly I feel like he hasn't been consistent enough and he doesn't have like a big influence in the game. Like yeah, he has a couple of songs that get spinned, but he doesn't really have a hit and he's been in the game for a long time now. I'm not throwing shade, like he's really a good rapper. But I'd like to say, in my opinion, throughout his career, he's not been as consistent. So that's why I have decided to place him in the D category, which is mid. Okay, so for our next artist, we have Blxckie. Now, Blxckie is an interesting artist. Came in the game. First song I heard from Blxckie was Big Time Slapper with Lucas Raps. And that shit was everywhere, gang. That shit was everywhere. And then he was able to follow up with like bangers. He was on Mtase. He dropped a beautiful debut album, which had a lot of bangers also. So yeah, he started with the game and he ran with it. There was a time where you couldn't miss Blxckie anyway, bro. He was getting the campaign deals, he was getting the commercial deals, and you know, he ended up signing to Def Jam. But yeah, I'm proud of Blackie. He's signed to Def Jam now, not Africa lol. He signed to Def Jam, and yeah, he dropped a David album. He dropped like that R&B EP. That shit was fire. I know this is a hip hop ranking, but that R&B EP, that shit was fire. And yeah, he was running the game for a minute, and he's been having a crazy run. He's still having a crazy run right now, and which is why I feel like he deserves to be in the amazing category. He checks out a lot. I mean, his influence already, like you see people wearing his t-shirts everywhere, and he has hits, bro. He's able to make a hit, and you know, his consistency is crazy. Like he's able to stay consistent and active in the game. So which is why I'm placing him in the amazing category. Okay, so for our next rapper, we have Boy T. We have Boy T for our next rapper, guys. Boy T is not really an active rapper, I'd say. She has come forward to say that she has ghostwriters and she's not really active in the hip hop space. And yeah, I mean, there's not a lot you can say about Boy T, but I would give her a shout out because that one song she did with Nasty C is a banger, bro. And that other one she did with Maglera is also good. But that one song she did with Nasty, I know they say Nasty wrote her verse. Nah, that verse goes in. So yeah, Boy T. I'm gonna have to say she goes into the mid category though, because I mean she hasn't been consistent. She hasn't dropped a banger album. She doesn't have hip hop influence. Now I'm talking hip hop. In terms of Boy T as a brand, that's a different story. But in hip hop, I don't think she has done a lot. So which is why I'm placing her in the mid category. Okay, so for our next rapper, guys, we have Boozy Lee. Boozy Lee. Is that how you say her name? Is it Boozy Lee or is it Boozy Lee? But yeah, she says it like Boozy Lee. I didn't keep, I'm a beast in the streets. Yeah, Boozy Lee. She's also a dope rapper. I mean, she has catchy verses and she's been on a crazy feature run. I mean, she's also a fairly new artist. I got introduced to Boozy Lee by DJ Clan, I think, on the Viral album, where she features Looting Over Pounds on Shaka Tech. That was the first song I heard from Boozy Lee. I think, oh, that Zonke remix, whichever one that came out first. So yeah, Boozy Lee, she doesn't have like much of a catalog, or not that I know of. And if she does, I mean, it hasn't been banging, it hasn't been in the streets like that. But yeah, I feel like she's a fairly new artist. There's a lot of space to grow, and shout out to her, man. She's been killing it. I've been seeing her. She's on the Scooter Baba remix. So yeah, shout out to Boozy Lee. But for this tier list, I'll have to say she goes into the mid category only because she's a new artist and there's a lot of improvement she can do. So yeah, shout out to Boozy Lee, man. Now for our next rapper, I'd like to say first of all, rest in peace to Costa Titch. Costa Titch, right? Costa Titch, he was a great artist, great performer. If this tier list was based on performance, he'd be up there, right? My first introduction to Costa Titch was the Nkalakatha song, not the remix. I think I caught on the song first because I was like, hey, that's crazy, right? And then he did the remix, which was fire. That shit blew up. Now Costa Titch, he has a couple of hit tracks. I mean, I could name a few. Big Flex being his biggest song, right? And even though it's not a hip hop song, so I'm afraid you can't count it here. But yeah, he has a couple of big songs like Arin, Nkalakatha Remix, but as an artist, as a South African hip hop artist, I don't think he's up there with the greats because music never dies. I don't think he's up there with the greats. He has, I think, one album that is out, which has a couple of hit songs like Ari. So yeah, other than that, man, Kostatic, I'd say he was a great performer. Great, one of the greatest performers we've ever had in South Africa. And in terms of hip hop, though, I'd put him in the mid uh, range in my tier list. I'd put him in the mid section because I feel like his consistency in hip hop terms, he's not really been consistent, and his influence is not really there. And he has a couple of hit songs like Arieng and Kalagata, like I said, but he doesn't have influence, right? So that's why I'm saying he goes into the mid category. So for our next rapper, we have Daliz, right? Daliz. Shout out to Daliz. Speedy recovery. I think he's recovered now though. So yeah, shout out to Daliz though. He came in the game as a group. I think they were Josie and they were killing it back there. They had a couple of hits and then he went solo as Daliz and he was like the jiggy nigga. I remember growing up, I thought Daliz was American because I think he had a Ciroc deal and he was always in America. So I thought he was American for a long time. And then yeah, Daliz, he has a couple of songs that went crazy in the streets. My favorite song by Daliz is Dice. You know that song Dice. So yeah, Daliz, man, he has a couple of hit songs, but I wouldn't say his career has been like up there with the greats, which is why I'm gonna place him in the mid category in my tier list. Okay, our next rapper is quite an interesting pick. Um, he says his name is Diamonds, right? Diamonds, but I pronounce it as Diamondez because when I look at his name, it's written Diamondez, but he says his name is Diamonds. So yeah, Diamonds, good artist. He's a good artist. There's not much to say about him. I think he's underrated, first of all, highly underrated. He has bangers, he has good songs, good albums. My favorite project from him is In the Trap. Man, that project is unskippable, bro. It has no skips. Go tap into Diamond Dance, guys. That guy is goated, right? But for this tier list, I'd say he is a good artist only because he hasn't been influential. Like, he's not known like that. He doesn't have like a hit in terms of a song that was everywhere. And he does have a fan base, but it's fairly small. But he's really underrated, which is why I'm gonna say he's a good artist in my tier list. Okay, our next artist on this tier list is our first E. Now, this artist, there's not much to say. I don't know not one song from this artist. His name is Xlover. Now, Xlover is not much you can say about him. He does not have any hits, no consistency, no relevance in the game, nothing, no footprint. Only thing that I've seen from Xlover is really troll tweets, which has earned him the name X-Local amongst the streets. So yeah, shout out to X-Local. I'm placing him at the D section because all his projects are misses. And yeah, nothing more I can say about X-Local. Our next artist on the tier list is Flo Jones Jr. Flo Jones Jr. is a fairly new artist also in the game. Got introduced to Flo Jones by DJ Slaker on the Champion Musics 2 EP. He was featured there on a couple of songs, and he has a hit song which is Promise Swa featuring Blackie and Matlera Doughboy. So yeah, Flo Jones, because of the hit song that he has and a couple of, street runs that he's encountered, I'll have to say he goes into the D category in my tier list. There's still space for improvement. I mean, he's a fairly new artist. I think he will improve along the way. So yeah, okay. Our next artist is Flame. Now, Flame is not really a rapper per se. I mean, he's more tapped in the R&B space. But I will say Flame is a good artist in hip hop. He's a good rapper. He has a couple of rap songs out. And yeah, I would have to say, well, I got introduced to Flame by Aries. And yeah, ever since he's been killing it, man. That was way back TWC days. And he dropped a couple of classic projects in my opinion, which are Cloud and Candyman. I feel like those projects are aging well. Also Dead or Alive, I mean, it's aging really good. And yeah, so Flame, I will have to say he's a good artist. So I'll place him in the good category in my tier list. Okay, our next artist is Gigi Lamayne. Now for Gigi Lamayne, I'd say she's not really okay, she is like active in the hip hop space. She does drop music, but it doesn't really land. Like, when last did Gigi have a song that was played around the streets, right? But shout out to Gigi. She's
What's up, guys? Okay, so my camera died while I was recording, unfortunately, and I didn't even see that it died for like a good 10 minutes. So unfortunately, I'll have to drop a part 2 to the video. But I just want to say, Gigi Lamayne, she's a great artist, great person. I'm sure she's a great human being. I've never met her personally, but in terms of hip hop, I would put her in the mid category because her consistency is not really there. She doesn't really have classic albums or projects. She's outside, she's getting the campaigns, so she is brandable, but she doesn't tick the other criterias on my list. So because of that, I'll have to put her in the D category. So guys, unfortunately my camera died while I was recording, so I'll have to drop a part 2 to this video. Very soon I'll drop a part 2, and yeah, stay tuned. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, comment, share the video, come back and watch it again, and also follow us on Nkenga Clothing Line on all social media platforms. Follow us on Nkenga Clothing Line on all social media platforms. Right now I'm wearing this Nkenga hoodie. I was actually wearing the Nkenga t-shirts, but it's cold, so I had to put on the hoodie, you know. So yeah, if you're interested in this hoodie or the t-shirt I was wearing, just hit us up on Nkenga Clothing Line on all social media platforms. I'll see you on part 2, I promise. Other than that, I'll catch you on the next one. Wow.
I look into the mirror, babe. I stare directly at my own soul, reminiscing like it's yesterday. Moonwalking to the future, babe. Taking my time with this, stepping stone, taking